So this may only be Braxton Hicks because yesterday her milk wasn't changed. Haven't checked milk yet today. But she was down and up again 3 times in the pasture before I brought him in for dinner. She's sweaty. She's clearly uncomfortable. She's got diarrhea. Hasn't eaten her dinner. We could be getting really close tonight. Okay, let's see if we can get through this. Life beats you up sometimes. There isn't going to be a foaling video. You guys don't need to see that. Sometimes it works. Sometimes it doesn't. We'll never really know why. We knew from the outset, well, basically when labor started, that we were in trouble. But with horses, you only have basically 30 minutes. We did everything right. We did everything we could. But you don't always win. And that's part of life. So we move on. And move forward. That's really all there is to do. If I could get my nose to stop running, that would help. For those that want details, basically the foal wasn't positioned correctly. They're a really big package in a really little space. And if everything doesn't go just the way it's supposed to, you can correct it to a certain degree, but it's rough, and it was rough. We had 3 feet instead of 2, which is not good. I had wonderful help, but in the end, we just couldn't get it done. It's almost harder that the foal was alive and breathing. We got through what was supposed to be the roughest part. We got the head and shoulders out. Usually that's the sticking place, but when the sternum got to the birth canal, it was just stuck. That was it. It was horrid. But that's life. It isn't always sunshine and roses. Sometimes it really sucks. In order to really appreciate the good, sometimes you have to have some tears. We'll see if we can save the mare. It's not certain. We'll know more in 36, 48, a week's time. It really depends. She is very beat up as well. As traumatic as it was for those of us trying to help her, it was definitely more traumatic for her. One of the wonderful things about life with animals is that they show us every single day to live in the moment, to survive. You deal with what's in front of you right now. You worry about tomorrow when tomorrow gets here. And so we're going to be doing that for a while, because we're not quite sure what tomorrow is going to bring. You never are, really. But that's what we're going to do right now, is deal with these moments and take it step by step and go from there. We really thank you guys for tuning in and watching. Sorry this wasn't the fun and excitement and wonderful video that we all hoped it was going to be. But this is life, and we live it. Focusing on moving on. With the loss of the foal, I'm able to put our pastures back to kind of how they are standard. I don't have to worry about the foal and whatnot. So one of the first things I need to do is deal with the water tank in the north pasture. It hasn't been used all winter, so we need to dump it, clean it out, give it a good scrub, and fill it up. The filling it up is the first challenge of the day though, because here's the hose that I need to fill it up. It takes about 300 feet of hose to get all the way out to that water tank. And this hose has been very carefully tucked away behind the foaling stall. So I think I'm gonna bust my butt and see if I can get the foaling stall taken down so we can get the hose out. Phase 1 of our mission today is complete. We've got the foaling stall stripped. Got the tool cat loaded up with all the bedding. Gonna go dump that. And then I think we're gonna dump the water tank in the north pasture. So it has a chance to kind of dry out and whatnot. And we'll go from there. Oh good. My helpers are here to help with the tipping over of the water tank. That'll make it so much easier. So no whatever. Getting through gates when you have overly eager helpers is difficult. So I get the gate all unlatched and off of its post and everything and ready to just swing open. And then I just drive, and I really hate this. There's always the chance that they'll try to come through, and there's always a chance I'll hurt the gate with the bucket. But when you're by yourself, you just kind of have to trust them to get out of the way. And they know the routine. Beagle does anyway. Cupcake would always like to be part. And then I basically get as much through the gate as I have to get it closed. And I jump out and close the gate. Success. We made it through the gate and nobody escaped. The gate's closed again. Everybody's where they belong. Say the bucket smells so interesting. So this is the tank we're dumping. And like, it's collected a bunch of water over the winter. But it's gross water that's been collecting, you know, water and leaves and debris and algae and all kinds of stuff over the winter. And they'll drink it. They don't really care, but I prefer they had fresh water. So we're going to dump it and go from there. I told you they were super helpful. The goal is to just get the edge of the bucket under the frame of the water tank and tip it up and let the water out. I may have to put you down because this is really a two-handed job, but we'll see how it goes with my helpers and the phone. Beagle says it's scary. Don't blame her. That was a success. Hurrah! I'm gonna leave it up for a bit because I want to get in there and scrub everything. And I can't tip it up by hand. That's why the tool cat had to help. It's too heavy. But I'm afraid they're going to destroy it if I leave it like this. Say, ooh, new, easy guys. Ooh, new toy. Slidey toy. What plywood is thick, Cupcake? Never a dull moment. We're going to do a real quick scrub of the walls before we take them down and put them away. Anytime, this was a rough birth. There was a lot of struggling and the fluids are everywhere. And anytime you have a retained placenta, which we did, you get stuff everywhere. And so the walls are gross. And I don't want to put them away gross. So we're gonna do a real quick scrub. And then we'll go scrub the water tank. I am not going to do the floor today. Well, I might do the floor today, but I'm not going to do it right now because I need to get it draining better before I put that much water in. I'm not moving very well. I'm not. We used every single muscle in our body and then some to its fullest extent, trying to help them there and save the foal. And well, I'm doing a little bit better today. I hurt everywhere. It was pretty silly of me to think that I could do the walls without doing the floor, because of course, as soon as the water hit the walls, it had to travel across the floor to the drains to get out of here. I can't say my brain's necessarily working the best right now. Something about no sleep. Anyway, since the floors are soaking wet anyway, of course I hadn't swept them, and you never get them wet until you sweep them, but again, the brain not working thing. I swept them real quickly, and now I'm going to wash them because they're basically all wet already. So that's next. Now while the floor dries a little bit, hopefully, we're going to quickly, again, hopefully, take down this end wall, and that way we can just kind of wash everything out the end. If you're ever find yourself building a barn for horses, or probably any livestock, I highly recommend having some walls that you can take down easily and quickly in an emergency situation. There was a good period of time during the foaling where I was pretty sure we were going to lose both the mare and the foal, and the only way we would have been able to get them out is if we'd taken down this wall, and thankfully we can. That's just maybe not the most pleasant thought, but it's always good to have an escape route because you never know when you're going to need it. Just a few minutes, we'll have this wall down. Because why not, right? This is kind of how life's going right now. I've been setting the boards with their end bolts in them down on the board below them so that I can hammer down on the board and pop the bolts up. Kind of like that. Except for this one, apparently the bolt holes are in the exact same spot. And I have now basically bolted these two boards together instead of popping the bolts up. Why not? Seriously. Unfortunately, I think that problem's going to have to wait for Eric's help because I'm not strong enough, at least today, to get them apart. No amount of prying or anything. I'm stuck. One wall done, time for number 2. Huzzah! We have an aisle again. So now we can drag the hose out
and finish the mission we started. Eric built this water wheel for me and it worked great until the wind blew it over one too many times and the handle broke off and the tires went flat on the wagon, but still works. It's a long way to string hose. We got it strung out and now we can wash the tank out and start it filling. Still working on filling, but that looks so much better. Got the starter repaired, and now the mower gets to mow. As soon as he gets his wheels back on the ground. Because this is the way life works. Real quick side quest to fix the fence. Again, maybe the most important step, unplug the fencer. Do this step before you do any of the other steps. Of course, can't get it with one hand. Okay. A couple weeks ago, Beagle came in with some scrapes on her legs, and I could not figure out where in the world she did it because she was in where there was nothing for her to get into. Well, I think she may have kicked through the fence up here, and that's what did it, because we're missing an insulator and where a jump wire came out. So we're gonna fix those real quickly. I really like these fences because they're super easy to work with. So all I have to do is loosen that one and the one above it, which you're not gonna be able to see because I can prop the phone somewhere. So let's take it. And then I just need to stick the jump wire back in. Stick the jump wire back in the top one and then tighten them back up again. Just like that, that's fixed. And then all I had to do over here was replace the connector, which was super fast and easy. And the last and second most important step is to plug the fencer back in quickly before Gremlin realizes the fence has been off. So I'm panting, I ran. He was headed for it. My apologies that this video is literally all over the place. That's the way life goes this time of year, and especially when you have unexpected complications to life. So bear with us as we jump from mission to mission to mission. That's part of farm life, is you got to be ready to roll with it. We've been getting a lot of stuff done inside as well. We got this door frame replaced. It had gotten wet before we put the storm door on and we needed to replace it. So we managed to do that before the rain came, which is great. Also put in a new storm door. My drywall project is continuing. It hasn't gotten any more pleasant, I'll admit it. I'm learning things, but I'm learning that I don't particularly like taping, although I got 2 more corners done today, and now I just have 1 corner and all the ceiling to go. I did manage all the ceiling corners, I guess. I did manage to get the ceiling seam taped, so that's something. Our trim project is continuing. We had to sand down all the old trim because it was dirty and gross and had fly poop on it and whatnot. That took quite a bit. Then we got to stain it, and now it is ready to be put up. So you guys have seen that process. You don't really need to see it, but that will be the next step for the trim. That's all we have for you guys this week. Take a moment, hug your loved ones, both 2- and 4-legged. Life can be rough, but it's our life to live, and we're going to keep on living it. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for watching. Certainly we appreciate you sharing with your friends if you think they might enjoy our little slice of heaven.